Pentheus is nothing. I think I hear him coming. What will he have to say, I wonder? Not that his bluster upsets me greatly. Controlling one's temper is a sign of a wise man.
This is humiliating! That foreigner, treated as he was a minute ago, he's got away! Well, so the fellow's out here, is he? What is all this? How did you get out? What do you think you're doing, standing here in front of my house?
Don't take it too hard. And don't come any closer.
How did you get out?
Did I not tell you someone would free me? Perhaps you were not listening.
What someone? Give a straight answer, can't you?
The god who grew the clustering vine from mortals.
That, I suppose, is a Dionysic benefit.
You can bear witness to his presence here.
I'll have every gate in the walls bolted.
To what end? Cannot a god jump over a wall?
So clever, aren't you? But maybe not that clever.
That clever, certainly. Born wise. Perhaps you should listen to this messenger and what he has to say. Don't worry. Oh, no.
Pentheus, Lord of Thebes, I come from Kithaeron, where the snow can fall so thick and white.
Do you have any news or don't you?
Buckets. That is what I've seen. Rushing about like mad things, barefoot, all over the place. I tell you, my lord, it's amazing, these things they get up to. Do you want the whole thing, or the edited version? To tell you the truth, my lord, I'm a bit worried how you'll take it.
Tell me it all. You'll come to no harm from me. I have no need to take out my temper on decent people. The worse tale you have to tell about these buckets, the worse my punishment for their corruption will be.
It was soon after daybreak. The sun just getting warm. The men were heading for the tops when I saw them. 3 groups of these dancing women. To know I was the leader of one group. Your mother, Bacchae the second, Ino the third. They were all fast asleep, stretched out, some reclining on pine branches, others amongst the oak leaves. They were lying anywhere, but decently. No sign of the drink and music you had led us to expect. No debauchery in the bushes. But then, your mother, when she heard some cattle lowing, gave a great shout and jumped up in the middle of the others, crying, "Rouse your bodies from sleep!" And they all shook their sleepiness off them and stood upright, old and young, married and unmarried. A marvelous sight. They let down their hair and tied up their fawn skins where they had become disarranged. And they hung on their dappled fur snakes, which licked their cheeks. Some young ones with milk at the breast, their newborn babes deserted, nursed gazelles, or fed young cubs instead. Then they dressed their hair with ivy, oak, or flowering briny. One struck her thyrsus on a rock, and a stream of water poured out. Another planted hers in the ground. That one sprayed out God-given wine. Those who required milk had only to scratch in the earth, and milk poured out. Their ivy wands dripped honey. I tell you, my lord, if you'd been there, if you'd seen these things, you'd be praying to the God you now pour scorn upon. We got together, all the men, arguing about all these wonderful things. Some clever fellow, no countryman, made an announcement. How about it, men of the hills? Shall we hunt down Bacchae, the king's mother, out of these revels, and do our lord a favor? It seemed like a good idea, so we laid an ambush in the brush and waited. No time at all, they were waving their wands, shouting to Bacchus, calling on Bromius, son of Zeus, and the whole mountain went wild for Dionysos. Animals, too. They began to run. Everything ran. Your mother leaped past where I was hiding. I tried to grab her, but she let out a scream. Hounds! You swift hounds! They are hunting us, men! Arm. Arm with your thyrsi. Follow me. We fled. They'd have torn us to pieces, these Bacchans. They turned instead on birds nearby where they were feeding. With her bare hands, your own mother wrenched and tore at a bellowing cow. Others ripped at calves, stripping them. Hooves torn off. Ribs wherever you looked. Pieces of flesh hanging bloody from the trees, dripping. Even bulls with pride of horn were dragged down, set upon by dozens of girlish hands, which dragged them down, defleshing them as quickly as you could blink, my lord. And off they sprinted, swift as birds, down to the fertile Theban plain, to Hysia and Erythrae beneath Cythera. Like enemies they invaded, scattering everything. They slung children on their backs, but they stuck fast, as did anything they carried, even iron and steel, nothing falling to earth. They bore fire in their hair. It didn't even scorch them. The villagers, furious, fell to arms. But there's another mystery, my lord. The steel javelins of the villagers didn't so much as draw blood, but the wooden thyrsi cast by the Bacchaes wounded them and put them to flight. Men, routed by women, but not without the help of a god. Then they went back to where they'd come from, to the fountains the god had raised up for them, and they washed the blood clean, while snakes licked clean their cheeks. This god, my lord, whoever he is, accept him in the city. His power is phenomenal, greater even than I have told you. He is the one, as they say, who gives us wine to ease our ills. And without wine, there's no love either, and precious little else for a man to enjoy.
I hesitated to speak of freedom before such a tyrant, but speak I must. Second, to know God is our God. Dionysos.
It is upon us already, spreading like wildfire, this bacchanalian frenzy. The whole of Greece will be jeering at us. We must act. You, go to the Electrum Gate. I want the shield carriers, the cavalry and bowmen, fast riders, the best shots. We march against the Bacchae. It's past all enduring to put up with these women's conduct.
Pentheus, you take no notice of what I say. I have suffered at your hands, and I am giving you fair warning. Do not bear arms against a god. Calm down. Dionysos will never allow you to drive his followers from the mountain.
Don't tell me what to do. You're free. Isn't that enough? Unless you're looking for further punishment.
It seems to me it would be better to offer him a sacrifice, rather than get so excited. You cannot fight the inevitable, mortal against immortal.
I'll offer a sacrifice, all right? All those women in the woods of Kithaeron, they'll get the sacrifice.